Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to some more Tlemcen and Sensibility here in Europa Universalis 5. Just like I was saying on Tuesday, it's been some time since we were back here because of the holiday break. It's been about 2 weeks. So here we are. First things first, let's make sure everything's working. Hello, mate. Everything's working. Hello, mate. Hey, right back at you, buddy. All right. All right, so where the hell were we with this one? So we started off this run a little rough. we As you can see, we lost some land over here. We lost Algiers. Oh no, we lost Algiers, but we'll get it back. We've crawled our economy back here, so that's good. We're getting some crown power back, which is also good. So we're moving along here. We have a ship. We have one ship, and we got an army of camp followers. But we're gonna build those up slowly but surely. What we really need here is an ally, somebody that's gonna help us against Morocco and Tunis. Morocco just absolutely, like, flat out hates us. We're never going to get anywhere with them. So, possibly Castile. Yeah, I mean, we could use getting a little bit more approval there. So we need another diplomat. Oh, hey, Mauricio, what's up, my friend? Hello. A new year and another time of Ham struggling for his domain to not die miserably. Yep, you got it. That's what it is. You know, I can't believe the first thing I didn't say to start off was Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. It is New Year's Day. I hope everyone had a good New Year's. I hope everybody is not hurting too much. Actually wasn't hurting too much this morning. I didn't really go out. But, you know, I still was drinking at home with my wife, which is why I didn't do the morning session of this today, because I was like, oh, I'm going to be hurting in the morning. I think I've reached that stage in my life where I'm just like, I'll have a drink, but not too many. How was your New Year's, Mauricio? I hope you had a good time. All right, so what are we aiming for here? Are we building anything? We are not. Now, the problem here is that in our capital, we only have 60% market access, which kind of sucks. So we could use more maritime presence to get more control along the coast here. But we would need more ships. How much was that going to cost us right now? It would be this that we want. 2105. Okay. So lumber is a little expensive in the market. Let's take a look. Yeah, burgers are importing quite a lot. So we could build some lumber. It won't fix the price in the market at all, but it will be profitable for us because the burgers won't be importing as much. It was a fun New Year. Eat good food and spend time with family. Nice. Nothing crazy, but true to the spirit of the day. Yep. I hear you, man. That's what mine was too. That's a good New Year's. You know, when you're younger, you think a good New Year's is like being out and just getting completely annihilated. At least when I was younger, that's what I thought a good New Year's was. And now just stay home and save money and not regret the first day of the year. Okay. So actually, I think we will build another ship. We can't right now, so we need like just a little bit more coin. So I think we're ready to unpause. Let's just take a look at everything else we got going on. RGOs are missing people. Well, they'll hire up. Unprofitable buildings. The Potter's Guild. Nothing much we can do with that. Unmarried adult heir. Oh, yeah, this guy. who tried to have a coup against me. Nobody wants to marry him. Oh well. Alright, we're ready to go. Away we go. Away we go. So what do? We're increasing control in Oran and encouraging towards centralization. So how far over to that are we? Not very much. We are going 0.01 towards decentralization. And why is that? So, the communal lands, fortification licenses, market fairs. So we got to take a look at that stuff. I'm still young, thankfully. Oh, okay, so I try to spend the special days with family. Specifically the older members, because you never know if they're going to still be there next New Year party. Yeah. When you're old, you wish that. Oh, man, you are a good one, my friend. That is good to hear. That is the way to go, right? Spend time with family now. Like you said, you never know when the last one will be. Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good New Year's with family, as it should be. We had a good one. We do the thing. So every year, so I have two kids. One is 7, one is 5. And so my daughter, who is 7, ever since she was really young, there's a whole, every year, there's something I did not know about before I was a parent. Every year, there's a whole bunch of fake New Year's counters for kids that you could find online. And so what you do is whatever time you do bedtime, for us, we start at 7:30. We did a little bit later last night. So at 8, we put on a Bluey counter. And so they count down the New Year's and you pretend like it's midnight. And then the kids feel like, oh, we stayed up to the New Year's, and then they go to bed. This year was the first year that when I put the counter on, my wife said, my daughter kind of looked over at her like, really? I know it's not midnight. So, I don't know. I think my daughter is starting to realize some of the lies we tell her. Some of the small little white lies we tell her. Poor kids. Poor kids growing up. All right. The burghers have grown increasingly resentful to the power of the Imara and particularly their lack of opportunities in the higher ranks of government. Their only route into power is to marry into poor but well-titled families or to pry open positions in government circles by demanding greater privileges from the Sultan. So the Umar will lose 10, the burghers will gain 10. See, the problem is, it would be great if one of them could gain 10, but I really can't have the other one lose 10. But I'm going to have to choose. God. Well, we'll go with the burghers. Yeah. Rebellious states. I hear ya. Alright, we can build that ship now. Oh, we can't. Oh, man, I forgot to check the sailors. Yeah, we don't have the sailors. Alright. So, what's going on here? How's the wharf? I still don't have muscle memory here. Or it's not muscle memory, right? I just don't remember what anything looks like, what any icons are. Bog iron smelter, the granary, the mason. Wait, where's my wharf? Oh, wait. I'm already... Oh, God, I'm such an idiot. I'm already building a traditional galley. Okay. All right, well, that's good. So what can we do here to maybe gain more money? We could also work towards making our buildings profitable here. So the Potter's Guild is not making money. That's because there's really no demand for pottery. Well, okay then. Sucks to be that building. Oh, yeah, okay, we were increasing relations with Zab. That's great. Alright, what can we build here that'll be profitable? A Tailor's Guild, that's always good. It's always a safe bet. What is fine cloth in our market here? Yeah. It's not, it's pretty cheap. Why don't we try to export this? Alright, well, priorities. We'll look at that in a moment. Let's take a look at what... Yeah, let's take a pause for a second. What about things like masonry, lumber, and glass? Masonry's cheap. Glass? Okay. Oh, we have no producers of glass. Okay, and then what about lumber again? And lumber's a little expensive. So let's take a look at glass. So a glass guild. We need lumber. We need tools. We need sand. What is sand in our market? I mean, it's just about level, not too much. And then, tools. And tools are cheap. Okay. But we do need lumber. So probably the best thing to do first here would be some more lumber. And we don't have enough money. Okay, so 44. Can we fix that at all? No. We would need the base cost to come down. Yeah, see, we need to get out of a traditional economy. What are we doing with that, with values here? Okay, so we're moving toward capital economy, because I was thinking maybe we want to change our cabinet member to do this instead of working towards centralization. But we're actually actively moving toward capital economy right now. Slowly, but, you know, we're getting there. All right. We have a Majli. What should we do? Monthly legitimacy. We're kind of okay on that. We could throw something to the Umara, since they're so pissed. Fortification maintenance goes down. How much are we spending on that? Nothing, but, you know, it could go down. Our diplomatic... Maybe our diplomat... Actually, you know... Maybe this. Because we are trying to get an ally. I think, actually, yeah, we're going to do this, and then we're going to try to change a law, maybe. So that's what we're going to do. So let's increase ties to neighbors. Let's see, we lose 2 stability. 2 towards decentralization. We'll gain 17, and it'll... let's see. Well, request additional taxes, actually, would be kind of nice. Let's take a look at our laws. What would we want to change here? Censorship, not so much. The religion one, yeah. Tax farming. Oh yeah, our tax efficiency. No, we don't want to touch that. Marriage law, I don't really care about. Slave conversion keeps asking me about this. I don't really care about it. Military laws. We did change to noble levies, so we're not going to change that. Maritime law, mandatory investment. So we get extra sailors. Shipbuilding speed. Oh, we gain a little bit towards capital economy. Oh, plus 10 trade range. Protect trade routes. Navy maintenance. Okay. Maybe protect trade routes. And we're engaging in state piracy. Yeah, fine. Feudal administration. Central Council would be nice, but it's not a pressing concern of mine right now. Yeah, this is fine for me right now. Legal code, Sharia law. The clergy get power, pop conversion speed, okay. Yeah, I don't really care about this law right now. Just not at the moment. Royal court, aristocratic court. Nah. Move capital costs. Actually, if we ever get Algiers back, I do want to move the capital there since it is the market capital. But we don't even own the city yet, or the location yet, so no. Alright, so Royal Court Customs, no. And we can't change anything there. Socioeconomic. So right now we're getting minus 5% proximity cost through land. That's not bad. Yeah, we don't want to change that. Now we don't want to change this law. Cultural tradition. Some of the army tradition. Belligerent. Nope. Education for the masses. This actually might be a pretty good one for us. So the nobles, the clergy, the burghers, the peasants, the laborers, and soldiers all get an increase to max literacy. Clergy, estate satisfaction, equilibrium gets that. Is there anything else, though? Uneducated masses. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. And individual apprenticeships. Plus 50% trade capacity. That's not bad, actually. But I'd rather have everybody be a little bit more literate. So we won't change that. Religious teachings is good for us. Oh, and I think we changed this one. Or no, we didn't. We didn't. Yeah, look at this. So burgher-controlled mining operations actually wouldn't be so bad for us. We get a little bit more towards plutocracy and capital economy. So, no, the mining law. And then the estate laws. Favor the ruler. I think that, yeah, we changed this. So this is what we want. All right, so the two we're looking at are either the mining laws or... what was the other one I said? I think it was somewhere up here. Yeah, I think it was... Yeah, protect trade routes. We want more trade range. Actually, I do kind of think we want this. Because when it comes to... Yeah, professional army, we can't trade with Constantinople because we can't reach them. So we can't get that spread here. Although, I think it's in... Yeah. The institution is already present there, so... the commoners, seeing how the richest merchants are gonna boss them around in the mines just as hard as the nobles. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't work out so much for the people working in the mines. Yeah, so I think we'll hold off on this one, and I think we'll try to change our mining law. So So we'll go to Burger Controlled Mining Operations. Losing exactly the lands with the most institutions is so crippling. I know. It pissed me off so much. After we lost it is when they got professional armies. Oh, it killed me. I made too many dumb mistakes in the very beginning. But we will recover. We will recover. Yeah, so let me remind myself what we're getting. So the Burger estate satisfaction equilibrium will go up. This is good. That means I'll be able to tax them a little bit more. Expand mining costs will go down. And then we'll get progress toward plutocracy and capital economy. Yeah, we want to do that. Okay. And now we'll do this. Because I actually wouldn't mind if the law passes. What's this? Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. But it's great you still playing this run. Most Paradox players are conditioned to immediately restart once they have what they see as a game killer setback. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it. I did think about it, but I was like, no. I mean, that's one of the things about EU5 is that, like, I feel like when you make a mistake, I'm like, oh, I got 480 years more to go. I realized, like, when I'm playing Victoria 3, how much I'm like, oh my god, I made a mistake. I only have like 50 years left. In this one, you got like 500 years. There's a lot of game to go. So I feel like, there's time to turn it around. That's also one of the things, actually, I love about streaming. I used to always be one of those people, especially with Paradox games, where I was like, oh man, I made one mistake, restart. And so something I like about streaming is, like, I feel like I gotta see it through. I gotta play through the run. So it keeps me honest. Alright. So how's our trade routes doing? See, I also wouldn't mind creating a market. Unfortunately, though, like, if I was going to create one, yeah, we need 182 ducats. But the other thing is, I'll create a market, but then I am still trying to get, damn, where is it? Yeah, there we go. I am still trying to get my land back here. So I wonder if the money is better spent on upping my military. Every country leader wished they could just go, oh, made a grave mistake, let's rewind time and try again. But they can't. And so you immerse yourself by not restarting and rolling with it. Yeah, exactly. Kind of immerse yourself. And, you add into that, we're doing Iron Man since we have to get achievements. With Victoria 3, you don't have to do that, so I rarely ever do Iron Man in Victoria 3, but this game, I guess, keeps you even a little more honest, because it would kill me if I did something that would get me an achievement, and I'm not playing an Iron Man. So I always play an Iron Man just in case I find myself in a moment to get an achievement. So Iron Man does kind of keep you honest as well. As representatives of the areas that are sometimes quite distant from Tlemcen, many Majlis members often find that life in Tlemcen during their visits is very different from what they are used to. Some find it both cramped and filthy, and many seem quite relieved when they get to return home. This year has proven even harder than usual for the delicate sensibilities of our Majlis members to endure. The hot months have been unusually hot, the wet months unusually wet, and the cold months unusually cold. A number of Majlis members have now decided that they have had enough and have approached us asking for help to make their stays more pleasant. I don't want to lose 5%. It's only 9 ducats. I mean, we can afford it. We'll push back doing another lumber mill. Oh yeah, let's join these guys together. All right, so now we're at least gaining a little bit here. A little bit of maritime presence. Yeah, our only chance here is to change. We have border controls. Disallows foreign migration, so it doesn't. Or... yeah, and parts... yeah, we don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't know about this parliament action. RNG confirmed. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. How are you? How are you? I like the screen name, my friend. Very cool. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, happy New Year to you too. How was your New Year's? I hope you had a good day of rest and recovery. Unless you didn't go too hard yesterday. Oh. Your Majesty, a daughter has been born to Sultan... oh, I always forget whenever we do another episode that we name this guy Hamcuts. Sultan Hamcuts II. We are told that the baby is named Kinsole. Kinsole. Okay. Who are my children here? Yeah, we don't have a son yet. The army is in many ways the most influential internal force in Tlemcen, and the members of the Majli who come from and are loyal to this influential organization have been persuaded to vote in favor of the current proposition. All right, nice. So gain 5. Oh, it failed. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Oof. Yeah, we lost a little bit of that there. Yes, quiet and good. Oh, nice. Good, good, good. Good to hear. See, a nice, good, quiet New Year's is the way to go. Start the year off with some rest. That is what mine was, too. Just a lazy day. King Sancho. Yeah, I really am, like, chasing this dream that Castile is going to get on our side. I guess the problem is, so let me rethink this though. They're never really going to be too fond of us because we're different religions. Oh, my cat sort of freaked out due to the fireworks, but all's good. Glad you had a nice one too. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't have any pets, but I hear about that always during New Year's, that is something unfortunately pet owners have to deal with. I'm sorry. Someday that will be me too. My kids, especially my daughter, just ask for a dog non-stop, and one of these days I'm gonna have to give in. So I would like to form an alliance. They're against it. Let's see why. So our strength and our border distance. So positive opinion, but we can have more positive opinion. Or we could profess trust. Let's do that. Pets are good for the family. My 2 are much older now, but I always had pets around them. Dogs and cats. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I always had a. Well, I not always. I was about I think 12 when I finally got a dog. But we had a dog growing up. I love dogs. I've always been allergic to cats, so unfortunately I haven't been able to have one. But you know, I've always enjoyed cats, like at friends' houses. I was always allergic to cats, but for some reason my best friend growing up had a cat, and I wasn't allergic to that cat most of the time. But I am allergic to cats, unfortunately. So my kids keep asking for a dog. Opposing factions in the military are advocating different tactics. With no compromise in sight, we need to back one of them to end the bickering. Yeah, I always forget which one of these I really want here. Offensive or defensive? Oh, yeah, sorry. Ads for a moment. Defense, movement speed down, but fort defense goes up. Combat speed, fort limit, fort maintenance. See, we need to go on the offensive, though. So, I'd like to go towards offensive, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so look at that. That did help us a little bit here. Navy morale. Now, what about Zab? Oh, that's right. Zab is a subject. Oh no. Yeah, so they're a subject of Tunis. Okay. Man, if we could get Egypt. Alright, now, there were some things here. Yeah, we don't have, the stability to get rid of anything here. Let's take a look at our guy. Sultan Hamcuts the Second. Ooh, quite a few people are trying to gain control in our waters here. Alright. Let's take a look at institutions. Oh. So we have 33% towards professional armies here. The Tunis-Athens War. We can intervene in that, huh? Where is it? Yeah, no, we don't want to intervene in that. This Tunis-Athens War, if Athens is strong enough. Oh, are we not rivaled with Tunis? Yeah, I don't know. Well, we don't really want to intervene yet. What is our military at? Okay, so about 8,600 levies. So wait, if institutions... We need at least 20% to have been exposed to professional armies before we can embrace it. Apparently only 0% of our population have been exposed. So it says it's progressing. I guess, yeah, I guess once it gets to 100%. Yeah, so we need 20% of our population to be exposed to it. So I guess once it gets here, they'll be exposed to it. Hey, J-Makers, what's up, my friend? Happy New Year, Happy New Year. How was your day? How's your year been? All one day of it. Um, all right. You know, I forgot. I don't really want the automated taxes. I want to do this for myself. Although we're kind of at where we could be. Doing pretty well. Happy New Year. Yeah, awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. We're here. We made it. 2026 is a going. Right, our pops could use some sturdy grains. I always forget what our RGOs are. Do we need fruit? We do need fruit. Oh yeah, but... Oh yeah, I forgot. So we do want to build some lumber. What's our control here? Control here, 91. Yeah, as opposed to 72. Okay. So I guess we'll build it here. Probably be the last one we do. I don't want to chase lumber too much here. And I do want to start building a few more armies and even navies here. We have quite a few trades going. Now, Ahmed and Mahdi has announced their marriage. Oh, okay. Great. Who's this guy? Oh, he's part of the Umara. Okay. Yeah, we haven't made anybody head of cabinet here, huh? Now, the problem is here, Tunis. They just have such a large army compared to ours. I don't know what happened. In the very beginning, you start off this run at war with Tunis and Morocco. And our soldiers just kind of tore through them, and we won that, which gave me a false sense of security, which is why we kind of messed with Tunis later. And that second time around, our soldiers were not as effective. So, I wonder why. But we won't fret. We won't fret. Oh, yeah, your tribal cavalry dominated early on. Oh, that's right. We had a ton of cavalry. That's right. I forgot about that. And I think... And that second time around, we did not. Interesting. So we got to build up a little bit of cavalry here. It appears that Edza Saidi, a child of the Sultan of Tlemcen, gained the ambitious trait. Oh, good. Good for her. So let's take a look here. So regular horsemen, we get 4 power, 5 speed, and 7 initiative. And then the armored horsemen. So I wonder what... Oh. Strength. This impacts the amount of damage dealt to an enemy. For ships, this damages the extra ships. While the regiments, this determines how much manpower they will kill. Yeah, so the horsemen get negative 10% strength damage done, whereas the armored horsemen don't here. Because they have the same combat power, combat speed, but the horsemen have 7 initiative while they only have 2. So what is the better bet here? Well, we might go armored horsemen. All right. With the increased privileges of the Umara come additional duties. They are expected to serve in the army as officers and true gentlemen. So we change the societal values by 5 towards aristocracy. Yeah, we'd rather be in plutocracy. And quantity. Yeah, no. Yeah, here we go. So we'll change by 5 to plutocracy and change toward quality. So we'll do that. Hey, Swolejo, what's up, my friend? You should go footmen and armored horsemen. Put footmen in the center and armored horsemen on the flanks. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely want the horsemen on the flanks for the initiative. Though I would build the horsemen first. Because the levies will be basically footmen. I mean, eventually I'd want to build some footmen, but I need people to flank on the sides. I think maybe that's what we were missing in that second battle. I don't remember, but I believe I did not have as many horsemen. That's similar to historical formations. Yeah. And also, hey, Matwis, what's up? How are you? How are you? Infantry buff works by flanks. So if they are in the center, their buff is double. Yeah. Yeah, plus their initiative here is just 1. Whereas, these guys we can get up to a +7. Yeah, they do take a lot of morale damage. I would rather... I would go... I think I would go... Their initiative is 2. I mean, honestly, what I should do is a mixture. Like, if I could have 1 horseman, 1 armored horseman on each flank, fill the center with levies, I could probably swing that. It'd be roughly a little over 200 ducats. Initiative is not a big deal stat. Go better troops. Well, it does. I mean, it does make a big difference, though, in that, especially when you're attacking from the flank, you can hit the battlefield first and inflict a bunch of damage on the flanks. Because once an army loses its flank, they're pretty much done. So having that high, I find having that high initiative on the flanks really does make a difference. Like, I think that is what helped us in that first war we did in this run. We had a bunch of horsemen, and I remember at the beginning I kind of went through and made sure they were all on the flanks, and we just cut through the Tunisian and Moroccan army. The second time around, we did not have that initiative on the flanks, and it showed. But also, yeah, the armored horsemen are better troops. I think, though, I mean, we can have both. I think that's what I'm going to do. I am going to work towards getting a horseman and an armored horseman on each flank, and then we might start actually thinking about going after Tunis here. All right, so we have a smallpox outbreak. Yeah, we're not going to intervene in that war. Yeah, the cultural capacity thing. God. We'll fix that eventually. I made another one of my dumb errors at the beginning of the run. Alright, so we're going to start now with our... Oh, we're not going to start with anything, actually. I still can't build anything. Alright, so next month. I think archers and light horsemen are good to use up resources once they max out the goods needed for armored units. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if we had archers. But I feel like I can only build so much. So the archers, yeah, you get 6 initiative, but not as good battle stats. But they are good amount cheaper. Armored horsemen obviously being the most expensive here, but we can build a horseman now, so I think we'll start with that. So we'll build out our flanks, and then we'll see where we are. Oh yeah, the archers are more expensive than footmen. But I would also I feel like archers are another one I would keep on the flanks. I mean, they'd work in the center too, but for me I kind of look at it as the people I want to put in the flanks and the people I want in the center. The footmen are the center. Then the question becomes, what do you want to fill your flank with? I think light horsemen are fine to build to keep ducat usage minimal. Yeah. Well, so the idea would be if I have one horseman unit on each flank, I can take advantage of that high initiative, and then the armored horsemen will come in right behind them. Because they also have, 2 initiative. Not great, but a little bit better. So that I can get that initial burst out of the gate. Footmen plus archers are same class. Archers need to be in the center or die in flank. Oh, do they? See, I've never really built archers all that much because I'm always like, I'd rather use the horsemen. Yeah, they have... Oh, I think I've always maybe read this wrong. Oh, do you know? I think I've misunderstood this secure flanks thing. I thought this bonus was to units in the section with them, not in a neighboring section. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I've never really missed out on anything because I haven't built them as much. Oh, hey, Super Frank, what's up, what's up? I will do the same with EU5 as I have done with Vicky 3. Watch it until I really want to play and finally buy it. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Watch it, figure out what to do before you do the investment. Well, I appreciate you watching me then. Ooh, a Merchants Guild. Yeah, build that there, because I'm coming to take that stuff back. Yeah, perfect 2026 plan, exactly. And speaking of which, I did get a Steam gift card for Christmas from someone. I haven't used it, and it is burning a hole in my pocket. Oh, the architect Abu Tashfuin Zaire Tamanit finished with their new locally known mansion, the bountiful mansion of Zar el Kua, which our country will greatly enjoy. This will increase the Zenati influence by 2. Okay. But I think I will wait until it's on sale for the first time on Steam. Yeah, I imagine the same thing will happen that always does when those first DLCs come out. There'll probably be at least a little bit of a sale on the base game. Because there is one coming. I forget when, but it's supposed to be early 2026. Right now, it seems like EU5 is too micromanagey for my playstyle. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of true. It's a lot more micromanagey. Patch 1.0.11 will be out in February. Might be a good time to check it out then, too. Yeah. You know, that's kind of what I found the difficulty with making tutorial. I had a plan to make tutorial videos for the game. But with all the patches and like major changes that have been happening, I feel like it does make kind of making a tutorial kind of an awkward thing to do. I feel like I'm waiting a little bit until the game seems to be a little more settled. The rapid expansion of our ports and docks has led to more young men leaving the farms and finding work on ships for trading companies. It is getting harder to find men we can count on to march to war. Damn. Come on, people. EU5 is good for solo, and Vic 3 is good for multiplayer. Yeah, that's true. You have those epic Vicky 3 multiplayer sessions. Anyone interested in some epic Vicky 3 multiplayer session should check Swole Joel out. It's really fun to watch. Yeah, I can't imagine EU5 in multiplayer because like it must take forever. I feel like Vicky 3 multiplayer takes forever as is. I can't imagine EU5 as multiplayer. You have the option to automate a lot of stuff too. Yeah, that is true. I feel like that was a good thing they added in there. A lot of the automation. Though it is one of those things that's always hard to admit you need to do. Because there's something about grand strategy games where you're like, no, I want to control it all. I got this. And then eventually you just got to get to a point where you're like, okay, I don't got this. I don't got all of this. I just need to bite the bullet and automate a few things. Yeah, EU5 is all devouring. This is true. Because there's just so much. There's so much going on. Here we go. Okay, so let's combine these guys. I'm giving no Clankus no jobs. Yeah. Not while there's EU5 in the midst. You know, now that we have somebody here, no, I will overbuild construction. Yeah, no, I will overbuild construction and the private sector will take it from there. This is true, right? This is true. Yeah, you can't really build construction sectors. I mean, you kind of have a private sector in the sense that your estates do build things, but yeah, it's not quite like Vicky 3. Yeah. All right, so we are at the hour mark, so we're going to take a quick 90-second break and pay homage to our gods of ads, so that we don't have to play through ads. So, 90 seconds, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We are back. Let's see what I missed here. For me, the most intriguing part of E5 is the time frame of the game. Yeah, I think you can actually change the world from any starting position. While in Victory, it's harder / impossible to do so within 100 years. Yeah, totally agreed on that. With Victoria 3, I mean, I think you can take a small country and become a major power, but you're not going to take an insignificant power and become like Great Britain with them. Generally speaking, maybe some good RNG here and there. But yeah, with this one, you have the time frame to really do it. What I think is the most interesting thing about this game is like you really are starting from like a Crusader Kings 3-esque type of society, and you're ending in like a Victoria 3 type of society. And so you really get to bridge those two things. I think it's a really cool thing. Hey, Joe. Hey, what's up, my friend? Hello, hello. Yeah, second to that. Yeah, exactly. All right. For centuries, many of the followers of Ali have considered it a necessity to hide themselves and feign adherence to other religious customs in order to keep their faith alive. Authorities in Brezina have increasingly come to suspect that there is an increasing number of Shias among the local Sufi lodges and would like our blessings in their attempt to root them out. Not just root them out, but root them out. Yeah, okay. I would like to go more towards jurisprudence. Um, but we're going to create a lot of unrest here. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. And we lose 10 prestige. With this one, we're only changing 2 towards mysticism. Oh, but we will get a lot of conversion to Shi'ism. That's a tough one. Then I think we might do this. 10% of our pops in this location. Yeah, what are the locations again? So like this location, 10% of the pops there. How many do we have there? Yes, that's like right here alone, we'd have like 2,000. I think we'll take this. 19th and 20th centuries are harder to build a great power because of the complexity of military supply chains. It was different when you didn't need oil and lead at scale. That's a great point. That is a great point. Like, yeah, in this you're basically still just like you're essentially still just giving like men with pointy sticks. You know, the archers some bows and arrows and some horses, but yeah, a little bit different than like mid to late 19th century militaries with oil and guns. It's a good point. All right, what's happening with our trades here? Do we need this? Is that why we're keeping these trade routes? What are dyes in this market? So price is down. Oh wait, did I read that wrong? I probably did. It's an export. Oh, okay, well they already fixed it. Yeah, we're trying to export dyes. Okay. Well, well, well. Where are we at here? So we need to get to 55 again. Oh, maybe 51. I wanted to build 2 horsemen, so I might as well build the second one. Put them over there. Essentially, that's what we're doing here. We're waiting to build up this army so we could just go to war, take our land back. Though, I do know, I really do need to get 2 armies going. I won't be able to just have one going around, because they're just going to go take other land. Also, I really do need to get an ally of some kind. I really feel like Egypt could be that if you guys would just be nice to me. That's funny. Yeah, they don't want the defensive league. The alliance is an easier bet. I mean, we do have more room for opinion. I don't know if it's really going to do all that much for us. Yeah, like if we can build up more units, that might help us a little bit. I don't know if it's going to make up 40 here. So this might be a lost cause. The growing power of the burghers has led to individuals from within their ranks seeking their fortunes in areas traditionally dominated by other groups. The sons of mid to low prominence families of the burghers now have the education and the ambition to match the more privileged classes, and, as a result, an increasing number of them are now being employed as administrators, lawyers, and officers, as well as in other positions traditionally dominated by another estate. The burghers still feel that they are being unduly held back by the archaic rights and privileges of another era, but their adversaries are growing very wary of the current unnatural social mobility. Unless we do something, we risk losing the support of the privileged classes. But if we withdraw our support from the burghers at this juncture, it will likely have grave consequences for our relations with them. Ooh, yeah, this is tough. We really can't lose 10 support from the Amara anymore. It's already pretty low. The burghers are at 57. And they'll go back up to 57. It'll take some time. I mean, so will these guys. Let's take a look here. Who are we getting more money from? Yeah, see, these guys... They're still at 43% power, and these guys are only at 10. I think we'll take the hit to the burghers for now. We do need to change that. What? For goodness sakes here. Maybe that was the wrong choice here. Tlemcen nobles. Okay, not good. Ooh. Alright, we do have a larger military. Oh, this is wonderful. Well, we did get our war. This wasn't the war we were hoping for. Alright. Raise the levies. Man, I hope nobody joins in on this. Alright. Give her an administrative education. Alright. Well, we'll see what happens with this. And the music just makes me feel like everything's just going to go oh so well. You guys join up. We won that. So you join up with them. And then we'll go figure that out over there. Oh, a prodigy. Oh, very nice. Okay. Alright, Wait, what happened to our... Did we lose our camp followers? Oh no, they're there. Well, whatever. Alright. Oh yeah, and we have no visibility over there. Alright, let's go that way. Take out whoever's over there. Yeah, what in the Hans Zimmer is this soundtrack? Seriously. Excellent reference. This is basically, Like the Dark Knight is about to hit the scene here. All right, you head over here. Yeah, that was quite the flourish there, and now nothing. Right, there we go. Excellently done, guys. All right, so let's... Oh, there we go. I was like, why are we not taking the location here? We are. Okay. So let's take this. Let's speed up a little bit. Boy, does this really derail things. Liberated. Alright, go over here. So we'll just go line by line here. Well, not really. I mean, we'll go there next. I want to get the coast over here. Yeah, okay. Excellent. Go this way. Our recent decisions and policies have come at the cost of unsettling regional interests, and that has left a bit of a gap in local politics. Since there are no local potentates to tell them everything is fine, the people have started to believe they are being badly governed. What? Oh, man. Okay, so we have some bad stability again. How dare you say you're being badly governed? It's not my fault you guys raised a bunch of pitchforks and started creating a bunch of noise. What I love about EU5, you fight your big war, big win, everyone celebrates, then you zoom out, and it's fight about the tiniest piece of land on a sub-peninsula in a remote part of the world. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, woohoo, we won! That little thing right there. That's cute, guys. Yeah. I suppose in, like, EU10, we'll be able to zoom all the way out into space. And zoom all the way into a grain of sand. Ooh, go get those guys. Oh, you know, I didn't even think of it, too. I'm really, trying out, too. I got a new CPU for Christmas. And it's working pretty good so far. I haven't been able to EU5 test it as much. I got the, Ryzen 9 9950X 3D, because I heard there's a reading it's good for grand strategy games and video editing, so far so good. I was like, watch, I'm not going to see any difference. That would be my luck. Alright, so we're doing okay here. Also, I want this to be the first army. That's the type of thing that bugs me. New market in Barcelona, alright. I just thought of something Paradox could do to make Vicky 3 a little more realistic. Make resource surveying a law like colonization and have more of a discovery component to the game. Oh, I like what you're thinking there. That would be kind of cool, right? Resource discovery. Have more of an active role. Yeah, kind of as it is right now. They just kind of... there's nothing you can really do. I mean, there's I forget which tech it is. It's like nitroglycerin or dynamite. One of them increases your resource discovery chance, but you don't really play an active part in it. So yeah, that would be kind of cool. That sounds like the kind of thing a cool mod is made of. Maybe you got yourself a mod idea there. New question: can you discover the new world in EU5? Yeah. Is it technology triggered, time triggered? Can you America rush? Um, so yeah, you can discover the new world. It comes in one of the eras. I forget which. Yeah, Age of Discovery. Um, and then you get you get like oh wait, no, which one was it? Yeah, Age of Discovery. Um, and then you can start chartering exploration out to the new world. It's like a whole mechanic of the game. And so the map starts to open up to you, and then you can start establishing colonies over there, and then establishing markets that you can start sending your resources back over here. So yeah, it's a whole thing. And so I don't know how much you can rush it, to be honest with you. That's the thing about EU5 is that, like, with Victoria 3, because it's only 100 years, I feel like you can have more runs and try more things. With EU5, a single run takes so long. It's just hard to get as many runs of the game in. So I'm not sure how much you can rush it, but theoretically I think you can, if you really up your tech and institution spread. EU5 has a lot you can learn from Victoria 3. Yeah. Also, hey, hello there, Antoine. Hello, welcome. Yeah, I agree. I mean, so now that we're a good amount of time into the release of EU5, I mean, I'm heavily enjoying EU5, and I love all of the Victoria 3, the Victoria 3 inspired economy. But I do still enjoy the economic aspect of Victoria 3. There's still a lot about the economic system here that is fun, but it's fun enough that a lot of times when I'm playing EU5, I'm like, oh man, I just want to go play some Victoria 3. Oh, they took Laguat. They took the place of my birth from me. Look, I was born on that little grain of sand right there. God, there's like nothing here. I gotta create a city there just because. Oh, we got a little something over there. Like, I actually don't care for... Yeah, good. They surrendered. Victory over those rebel scum. Alright. Let's disband the levies. One thing I do find I don't really care for in this is... Let's find... Actually, lumber is always a good one. This whole, like, burger imports, so that the supply and the demand is even, but yet the price is the price isn't level, because because you don't get credited for the full amount of a burger import. You only get 75% of the supply for that, so we actually don't have enough lumber. But like in Victoria 3, it'd be like, okay, I don't have enough lumber, let's build a lumber mill, get more lumber in our market. But the burger import thing here makes it kind of a weird situation where I'll build a lumber mill, and so I'll add more lumber, but all that means is the burgers are importing less. And so you make a minimal dent on leveling out the price of the good. I don't care for that too much, to be honest. Oh, hey, we got the Twitch bot. Hello, Twitch bot. You're the first Twitch bot of the new year. Your prize is to say goodbye, Twitch bot. A good search bar. That's something that Victor can learn from E5. Oh, yeah. That is true. I do love that. I do love that. So, on the buildings list, you can just, like... One thing I love is... This is the production window. I can type in the good, lumber. Oh, I want to make lumber. Here's what can make lumber. I want to make tar. Here are some buildings that will do it. I do really love that. Oh, well, no. Here's a building that will do that. So you can do that in the building screen, and then the market, you can just search for the good. Yeah, I do wish Victoria 3 would do that. Although I guess, too, there's just a lot more goods in this. Like, look at how many goods we already have in our market here. And we're a pretty small country in a small market. It seems as if the commoners are moving out of the hinterlands of Mazuna, an aim to earn a living in Tahart. This is creating turmoil in the countryside of Mazuna, but Tahart may benefit in the long run. So we'll lose some pop satisfaction. We will gain a little bit towards centralization. So the commoners will lose 10%. The admirer will gain 20. No, we're going to take this one, actually. Maybe include diplomatic terms in treaties for access to surveying. Oh, yeah. Private, public sector versions of the law. That would make alt history interesting, and production texts that help playing tall more. Yeah. I like that, actually. That's a great idea. Do it. Create the mod. JMakers, make that mod. Make it for us, please. Now you've got me excited. I want to try that out. Eco-wise, it's solid move to build what you are importing. Yeah, generally. In this and Victoria 3, to be honest. Yeah, because even... we take a look at lumber again. Yeah, we got a marriage. So, like, the burgers are importing 5.19 units. We're only getting credited for 75% of that when it comes to the price, when it comes to effective supply. So, if we built a lumber mill, and let's say we produced 1 unit, the burgers would now be essentially importing 4.19. So we wouldn't make a difference in terms of the overall supply and demand, but we make a small dent in this. But it's so minimal because, like, so we're losing 1 unit of burger imports that we were only getting credited for 75% of, and replacing it with 1 unit we're getting credited for 100% of. So we've only really gained 0.25 units of lumber from building a lumber mill, when the lumber mill is creating 1 unit of lumber. I find that to be, honestly, I find that to be quite annoying. That is one complaint I do have with the game. Oh, damn, he beat me to being the first. Hello. Oh, man, my apologies. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. Isn't this the same with free trade in Vicky 3? The trade centers import lumber from the world market. If your wages are too high, the lumber mill will not populate because it's not profitable. I know, I think it's a little bit different because it's like, in Victoria 3, if a lumber mill is, if a logging camp is making 1 unit of lumber, my market gets 1 unit of lumber. If the trade center imports 1 unit of lumber, I get credited for one unit. Now, I see what you're saying there in terms of like, if the trade center imports that 1 unit, won't the logging camp import less? Like, this is true, but I can also create a demand for more lumber and have both of those being utilized. Whereas with this, it's like, I just find it hard to track. Like, what do I need in my market, right? Like, so look, if I'm looking through this, all of this stuff listed as, oh, these are all level. Well, they're not really. They're not level because the price isn't level, because the actual supply and demand for the price, the effective supply and demand for the price, like, isn't getting calculated the same. And so I feel like in terms of like trying to look at a market, figure out what you need, I find it's a little bit harder in this because of the way that Burger imports and then government imports, which normally get credited for 50% of the unit, I think makes it a little bit more difficult to track your market as opposed to Victoria 3. Oh. All right, what do we have here? What can we do now? Expand mining operations. Do that. Oh yeah, support the state. We could really use that right now. Yeah, we're gonna go towards this. And we're gonna politic towards it. Change societals by 2 to aristocracy. Yeah, I'll take that. Tax exemption. So the clergy will pay 20% less taxes, but yeah, okay. I was thinking for a second, wait, are we taxing them? Less and less. Reduce less. Really, guys? We gotta do that? I don't like either of these things. We're at 59% right now. We might get some events. We'll wait on events and then see what we want to do. What's going on here? Rebellion against Tunis. Pops will prioritize high production buildings. For example, if I'm out of pops, my glass industry may employ 100,000 pops and import all the lead from another market with no lead in-house. Yeah, highest productive. Yeah. Yeah, generally speaking, yeah, that's kind of the case there. But the productivity of a building is also dependent on how much demand you've created for it as well. Plus surveying prioritization would act as a balance to trade leverage. If you find new resources yourself, you don't have to depend on the global market as much. Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if you suddenly discover a resource, that would change the trade balance there. I read everywhere that it's wage controlled and the production building just populate more because they pay higher wages with better PMs. Yeah, I mean, pops are always going to move toward the higher wage, but in Victoria 3. But a pop will only move out of their current job if the new job is offering a wage that's at least 10% higher than their current wage. I think, so Swoldrel was talking, I think, is making more of a point toward the building owners hiring. So they'll try to hire, but the pops who are going to try to move will only move for higher wages. And there's like an equilibrium there, because when a building tries to hire and it can't find the pops, it will raise the wages to a certain point. And then there's a point where it'll just stop hiring. And so if it's not going to get that 10% higher wage, if the pop isn't going to get that 10% higher wage, they're not going to move, and the building owner is not going to bring the wages up anymore. And so You have to find that equilibrium point. Oh, hey, Maximilian. Hello, hello. Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. How many states do you want to have? Yes. How many states do I want to have? I want to have as many as will have me. All right. So what are we at here? Productivity equals profit per employee. More productivity means more wiggle room for higher wages. This is true. This is true, but the productivity is also tied to the demand for the good, which sometimes you have some control over, sometimes you don't. You have 6. Typically we have 4. You have the Dhimmi and the tribesmen. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple extra here. They don't pay taxes, though. So, you know. All right. Rebellion against Tunis. What are we doing here? Who is this that... So are we are in a war against Tunis now. I mean, this is not good. I mean, I get they want to join us. Well, all right, raise the levies again. This is not great, though. You can tax them. You have it set at 0. No, well, we can't really. We don't. We can't tax them. You see. I guess we got 0.02 there, but essentially we can't. And the Dhimmi you can't tax. I believe it's an estate privilege with them that we have to get rid of. But at the moment, we can't really do anything with either of them. Oh, is that the case? We don't have any? I thought there was an estate thing about that. Yeah, no, we have 2,000 Dhimmi. We have 241,000 tribesmen. Yeah, 2,000. All right. What are we going to do here? Well, we'll let the levies raise up here. Yeah, the tribesmen are a little poor at the moment. Yeah, they survive on collecting berries. Basically, at the moment here. For now. Though both of them have no estate power, so... Oh man, don't take my boats! Oh, here we go. Let's just combine all of them for now. We lost. Hey, our guy got got Buccaneer. Oh man. Oh, you know what? Can I just tell this guy? Alright. One of the more difficult things about being a parliamentarian has less to do with the debates in Tlemcen, but more with how to sell the debates and compromises to the people back home. Still, a local Majlis member will often have an easier time explaining a new tax than would a collector sent by the central government in less representative systems. It seems that the Majlis members in general, and the ones from Brezina in particular, have become so adept at defending policies that we have seen a resulting rise in the support of the central government as a whole. Oh, nice. All right, we get 10. So maybe we'll keep this guy separate. Let's give them a commander. For this one, I want somebody with high... Yeah, this guy would be better. Alright. Oh, no. This guy's already leading an army. So he was so good, I already had him leading an army. Alright, we'll put this guy. So you go there and stave off these guys. Mr. Emir, a second fleet has hit out ships. Yeah. These guys got their butts kicked over there. Okay, you go over there. One. Alright. Let's move this guy over there. And these guys have met up. Alright, so you are gonna head out here and hit them full force over there. Oh, God. Oh, man, I did not realize Morocco was on this. God, we are cooked. Alright. In time, many of the everyday occurrences in the life of Sultan Hamkuts II and his predecessors have become the subject of a ceremony. Being able to attend the bedroom of the Sultan as he dresses, for instance, is considered by many to be the best way to gain his ear. An elaborate court life will certainly limit the power of our Umara to plot against us in their countryside properties, but it could also prove to be quite expensive. Entirely denying them the right to be part of the daily life of our Sultan, on the other hand, would limit their influence, but the Umara would likely resent it. Umara will lose 20%. Yeah, we're going to get, though, an indefinite 1% increase to the cost of the court. Yeah, I guess at this point, though, that's not too much. I kind of need a happy nobility right now. Alright, we'll do that. Now, would it liberate? Yeah. So is that the whole area here? I think so. Let's take a look at the province map. Yeah, that's the whole province here. So we gotta liberate this. So maybe what we'll do, we'll get what we need here. Ah, if I could just get this town too, that would be wonderful. We'll get this. Then we'll start taking the smaller armies as much as we can before we have to tackle this big one. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. I didn't realize they were out there. Sorry, ships. You guys are cooked. My bad. Alright, let's get this. Really, you guys are just gonna chill over there and do nothing? You guys brought me into this war and you're gonna have your whole army just sit in no man's land? Oh, I should have taken this first. Okay, I should have taken that one first. I am gonna need... Ooh. Run away! And you run away too. Don't take them on yet. I really need to join these armies. After they're done marching. It seemed that the Majlis members of El Abidosidi Chica, though staunch supporters of our cause just a little while ago, have come to change their stance on the currently debated issue entirely. We cannot know for sure how this happened, but it is clear that we can no longer rely on their vote. Ah, man. Poop on that. Alright. Let's take a look here. Is it possible to get anybody in this war? Can we bring anybody in? Hey, what about you, Egypt? No. So much for all that politicking I've been doing. Oof, this is not looking good. Oh, fine. No, just meet over there. Alright, you guys join up. Alright, so you guys, come back home over here. We'll see what we can do. Oh, let's make sure... What was that? Some sounds happening in my room here, and I don't know what they are. That's weird. Alright. Everybody let me know if you see somebody behind me with a knife or something. Just balance them out. But I want to make sure... I want to make sure all of these cavalry guys... Yeah, see, this is what I didn't want. Alright, let me micromanage this. I just want to make sure there's no cavalry in the center. Yeah, so I do have one. So, alright, so let me just go through here. $351, you go over there. 111, you go over there. Oh, excellent. Okay. Whoever said produce what you're importing, that was one of those comments where I realized I might be really stupid. Yeah. Yeah, that was my guy Swole Joel, yeah. I mean, it's true. Produce what you're importing. That's generally a good idea. Though, I guess that's kind of my point with the game, though, is that, like, generally, you're importing everything. Because you don't really have a level supply and demand here. That's what makes it hard to figure out what you need to do. I don't like the whole, like, burger import system here. Oh, is this already... Whoa. Wow, we really, defeated them quickly. Look at that. They're just running their guys away. I mean, I get they only have 116 people, but you could take on the 111 guys. Like, come on now. God, the problem is these three armies here. You know, we might go after one of their lands just to level out what they're going to be doing. Whatever the top import is would be a good place to start. Yeah, that's probably a good point, right? What are you importing the most of? Well, really what you should be building at game start is lumber, masonry, glass. Because that's what you need for construction. And so you want to keep the cost of construction low. So that's usually the best place to start. If you don't, if you have high prices in any of those. If you have a low price on those goods, then you can start with other things. Generally, I find fine cloth is always like a good thing to start building and export so that you can export it. Right now, our market has a very low price of it, so we really should be exporting more of it. I find that the beginning game, you can always make a good amount of money on that, just generally. All right. I feel like they're heading towards the capital, maybe. We're gonna have to take on one of these armies. Actually, no, we don't. Maybe we could take on one of these guys that's a little more level to us. I mean, they're going to take our capital, though. Oh, look at that. Yeah, okay, because I forgot we have all of those... cavalry levies. Oh, come on, guys. Wow, okay. We won. Let's go down there. Are we going to intercept these guys over here? Occupation of Laguat. No, not Laguat. Alright. Here we go. Alright, we won. We're still pretty level here. Stay right here, take these guys. So, we're winning these battles, but we are losing quite a lot of people. Last year has seen a fine harvest and an excellent environment for traders and entrepreneurs. This has proven a blessing for our tax base, generating higher income for our sultanate. We could really use that stability. And we could also use the money, but let's take the money. Okay. What we're gonna do is I want to come over here and take the war goal. Then we'll come back and hit out at these people. Yeah, they're gonna go take that, but that's not the war goal. Oh, why are these things still... Alright, we're gonna have to come back around this way. Hey, alright, immediately agreed. Very nice. Because now all of their armies are out of this area, so we can really... Yeah, Laguata's fallen. We'll come back down that way. I also really want to go occupy this and see if we could take that in the peace treaty. Prosperity recovery sounds good. Taking our land. And we're taking the war goals. Alright, go take these guys out. Alright, we got it. Now, I want you guys to go take this. Maybe, no, maybe that's not the best. You guys go back down that way. Although, ooh, now they're all over here. Hey, RNG, good night. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, my friend. Good to see you. Have a good one. Actually, that does good timing on that, because now I see we've hit the 2 hour mark, so we're going to take our 90-second break here so that we don't get hit by ads. So 90 seconds, and we will be right back. All right, and we're back. And we're back. All right, so how are we going to do this? I mean, I don't want to split our army up. We have the war goal here, right? What other locations are in this province? Oh, no, we don't. Oh, okay. So this is all that. So I shouldn't be going... Well, let me go take Laguat, because that'll get the whole south here. They're about to take my capital, though. All right, we're already down here. So we'll take this. This will be quick. This will open everything else up. And then we're going to go over here. Get rid of them. Problem is, they're just going to dwindle our army down here. We're going to run into these guys. Oh boy. Yeah, our numbers. I'm worried about our numbers here. We won, but... Yeah, we're already gonna... Oh, we could try to level this out a little bit. Yeah, not going to go well. But we were locked into this before we had a chance to even move the battle somewhere else. Come on, my friends. Oh, well, these guys are showing up, though. Man, they're just throwing people at us here. Oof. Okay. Well, we're going over there. I should go over here and try to take the rest of the province. I don't think we have enough money hire any mercenaries. Yeah. Yeah, already we're out. I suppose we could go into debt, borrow a bunch of money. Now, I think what I'm going to do is, so we don't have a lot of people, what we're going to do is we're going to take the war goal and then just make them come over and have to get that. So these guys are going to try to chase us down. Oh, no, they're not. So you guys come down here. It says we won, but where's our... Ooh, we got stack wiped. Alright. And we got nothing left. That was it. Ugh. All because these guys wanted to join us. I didn't ask for that. Damn, 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 damn. We did take a loan. See, we're not even going to get a lot. So to get a decent-sized military here... This will get us what? Yeah, see, we need to get to like 200. We're not going to be able to take out enough loans for that. What could we offer them? We took humiliate. Yeah, that won't do much for us. Nothing. Could we get like Morocco out of it? Wait, what? We cannot negotiate separate peace as an overlord in a subject revolt war. Oh. See, that's what's some BS about this, though. They pulled us into this war because they wanted to separate from Tunis. We don't have any ties to them. Oh, they're our subject. Yeah, they wanted to secede and become our subject. That kind of sucks. See, we really need to get professional army so we can actually create a bit of an army here. Well, we can start building some regulars. Since we don't have anybody. Oof. Yeah, this was a loss. Alright, what can I give them? Yeah, I'd have to start giving up land here. So Tunis annexes the Revolter ferry for a cost of 70 war score. Yeah, go ahead. You can take them. But that still is not going to be enough, huh? Why would giving them this land lower the peace treaty? Yeah. We'll take humiliate. So we lose 20 prestige. I mean, that will be tough. But it gets us a little bit closer. Ugh, yeah, let's see. Alright. I think we're just going to have to let this run for a little bit. Yeah. Look, Watt has fallen for like the third time. Alright. Not ideal. I guess it depends on what it is we're going to end up losing in this. Once again, what we really need is an ally. which we just cannot seem to get. What did we win? We won a naval. We won a naval battle. Okay, fine. Damn, this pisses me off because we were really slowly building back up. And this place deciding to revolt against Tunis really killed us. What happened? I stepped away for a Chick-fil-A and I see you getting sandwiched. Yeah, we kind of got screwed here. So this Tatari wanted to revolt against Tunis and join us, which automatically threw us into this war, which we did not ask for. We were doing well at the beginning. Our armies are stronger than theirs, but yeah, basically he got outnumbered 4-1. That's essentially it. Our armies were stronger than theirs in defeating them, but we just, got whittled down too far. Is this salvageable? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it is. I feel like I've asked that question, is this salvageable, a couple times in this run so far. We're on the verge of getting back on track. I think it depends on what they take at the end of this war. It really hurt losing our market center. So we'll see. We'll see. If we lose... I'm going to read that in a second. If we lose Iran in this one, that'll be tough. Because that's our natural harbor. We have our capital, we have our natural harbor. That could be enough to keep going. But if we lose that, and then, like, a bunch of other land, we'll have to make some decisions about this run. Foreign merchants are increasingly outcompeting our own in our sultanate's ports, flooding our markets with cheap goods produced elsewhere. This is making it difficult for our merchants to make a living. They have come before Sultan Hamkas II to propose a new tariff on foreign goods, which would help protect them from competition from abroad. So the burghers will gain 10 satisfaction. Yeah, I'd rather gain a little bit towards capital economy, and they'll get over it. All right. Well, let's speed this up. Get to the end of this. Oh, hey, ravaging Rick Moranis. Lovely. I love it. Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy New Year. How are you? I just noticed, but where are your sailors for saves and free income events? Yeah, we've really lost a lot of our sailors here. I was going to check on this, and then I got distracted earlier. Why we have so little. Why do we have so little? This is what I was going to look at before. Look at our wharf. Scholar arrived. Great. Oh, did we... Yeah, there's city. Why? Like many pious people seeking a spiritual lifestyle, our courtier Abu Hamu Sayyida has decided to join the Sunni religious order. The ulama will, of course, be delighted to have a person of such political standing inducted into their orders, but we can block the process if it is not part of our plan. What's his current estate? Oh, he's part of the nobles. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we have a wharf. That's what I thought. God, I need to remember how many free loading tribesmen do you have into your country. Yeah, how many do we have? 235,000. Quite a lot. Paying no taxes. Yeah, now Tlemcen has fallen. Ibn Arabi was the 12th century Andalusi scholar and mystic, regarded by many Sufis as the foremost spiritual master. His pantheistic philosophy of the unity of being viewed all of creation as a manifestation of Allah and invited worshippers to see divine beauty, not merely in the traditional rituals of Islam, but in all aspects of life. Ever since, debates have raged on over the compatibility of his philosophy with scholarly interpretations of Islam, with some going so far as to label him an unbeliever. For many Sufis, on the other hand, Ibn Arabi's philosophy became the foundational principle of their religious practice. Now we too are being asked to take sides. Yeah, we'll change towards jurisprudence. Alright. Alright, so they took them. So what did we lose here? Alright. So we didn't actually lose anything. They just re-annexed the people that were already there. Damn. Okay. Alright, so we're okay, I want to find... Where is this wharf? Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So they just devastated you for free. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what happened. We were so on track. And then they just came in and said, screw your couch. Alright, let's get these taxes back up. We're still losing money, though. What is this building? What is it doing? Fruit orchard, level 2 mason, granary. What is this producing for? What is this giving us? Oh, fort defense. Okay, okay. That's what happens when you invite Rick James. I'm glad he never came to my house to mess up my couch. That's right. That's right. We invited whatever that place was called, Titsumi or whatever. And they let their friend Rick James come in and said, screw your couch. Oh, that pisses me off. Alright. Oh, well, our trade. Okay, our trades are kind of bumped right now. So, let's let our AI fix that up. What else are we spending money on? Alright, there we go. So now we're increasing money. So there's nobody that wants a defensive league. Offer an alliance. With who? Yeah. People who cannot help us. Who is this? You have no soldiers. No soldiers. No thank you. Oh yeah, how wrecked is the prosperity? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our capital location here. 11.58%. Yeah, is there a way to see the entire country? I know to see it per location. Hmm. Literacy. Access. Oh, here we go. Funky. Yeah. Funky is one word for it. This is one of those moments that makes me miss the England run we're doing. Alright. So we're starting to build up some more trades here. So where do we go from here? Where do we go? Honestly, we need a powerful ally. See, this would be like your enemy is Morocco and Tunis. Those are my enemies too. Like, come on now. Do I have them set as rivals? Next to the red estate face icon pop-up. Wait, next to the red estate face icon pop-up. Where is it? It's the pop-up next to the red estate face icon pop-up. Is it back in here? What are you talking about? By the truce pop looking olive branch. Oh my god, I feel like an old person who can't. Rebel movements. Well, here's the olive branch looking thing. It's not any of that stuff. By the truce pop looking olive branch. Oh my god, I feel so dumb right now. Devastated locations, yes. Oh, here we go. Oh, prosperity. There we go. Yeah. It was just staring me right in the face. Alright. Yeah, look at that. Actually, there's probably a map mode for it. There's a million map modes. Oof. Yeah, not good. Oh yeah, look at that. Prosperity is low there. Prosperity is not high anywhere. So yeah, kind of killed our prosperity quite a bit. Alright, so how do we claw our way out of this? Honestly, the way we claw our way out of this is we need somebody who's going to back us. Like, if I were playing Victoria 3 right now, that would be the thing I would be looking for, and I would be recommending. You need to go get yourself a defensive pact. And so that's what I need here. Now, the Kingdom of Spain is the obvious choice. Their enemies are my enemies. But they don't seem to want to offer anything. And one of the biggest things that's always hurting us is our strength. I don't want to back. I mean, I assume we have people set as rivals. I feel like that thing is always staring me in the face up here. If only somebody would want to marry this guy. Get us some type of royal marriage going. Alright, so my oldest daughter is already married. She can't get married yet. Hostile pirates. Oh, what's going on over here? The Tunisian peasants. All right. So that's what we got to do. We got to find an ally. We did the whole thing already where we try to build ourselves up slowly and then kind of sneak our way back up. Didn't work out too much. We got to find an ally in this world. I feel like one of the problems, not in this episode, but it was popping up before in the previous episode, was that us being of different religions is one of the issues here. I think that was, yeah, that's part of the problem. Yeah, that's part of the problem of improving opinion, which is why I was going for Egypt before. It is almost inconceivable how incompetent Sultan Hamkuts II is when handling diplomacy. Yeah. How apropos. Well, I'm sitting here trying to find allies and just can't do it. The game pops up and you're like, man, this guy playing this game is just incompetent. It's inconceivable how incompetent this player is. Man, screw you, EU5. You don't got to be a jerk about it. We do not know how he did it. Jesus. But he managed to hurt our diplomatic standing in the world with a single letter of apology to an ambassador. How can it be possible? Is the game really just making fun of me at this point? I feel like the game is actually, like, just making fun of me now. That's not cool. You know, I can still delete you, game. I still have the power here. You better watch yourself. Alright. But that's the other thing. So Egypt doesn't like how far we are from them. Now maybe we can, like, create some type of, like, coalition. I've never actually done that before. How do you, create a coalition? Oh, this is telling me how a coalition is created against me. That's not what I want. Are you still alive? I am still alive. But hurting. We actually didn't really lose any land. We just didn't gain the land that wanted to revolt against Tunis. But they did stack wipe our navy. Completely decimated our number of levies. Really ruined what we had going economically, so... Tell us some frontier stories. How did your mother end up in the Dakotas? Oh, actually it is kind of a funny story. So, I forget the year. I think it was early 19th century. My mother's side of the family, oh, hold on, sorry. We can embrace professional armies. Finally, though we really don't we really don't have the stability. Yeah, so my mother's side of the family is of German and Polish descent. You can wait for it, yeah. And so the story goes that the Polish side of my mother's side of the family was actually like aristocrats in Poland. For whatever reason, they decided to move to the United States. Around the time that the company Ford was releasing the Model T, there were actually two car companies at the time, Ford and another company called Lemon. which is the company that created the name for what you call a car when it doesn't work. I don't know if this is an international term, so maybe it is, maybe I'm saying this and this is what everybody else knows, but at least here in the United States, when you have a car that doesn't work, you call it a lemon. And it started from a car company here in the United States called Lemon. And so when our fairly wealthy Polish descendants came to the United States, they could have invested in Ford or Lemon. And they invested in Lemon. And so my mother's side of the family became farmers in North Dakota. I think that's about the extent of the lore of my mom's side of the family. But yeah, I think the German side of the family just kind of settled in North Dakota and became farmers. And the Polish side didn't help it too much. Have you lived in the Dakotas? I didn't live in the Dakotas, but I visited, many times throughout my life. I've been to the farm quite a few times, though I've never done farm work. But my mom lived there her whole life until she she went to college at North Dakota, so she lived there all through college. And then when she graduated college, she said to her family they were going to give her a college present, like a graduation present, because she's the only person in her family to graduate with a four-year degree. She said, "I want you to just buy me a one-way ticket to Los Angeles," and that was it. Because she had a friend who lived in L.A., ended up living on her couch, so her family bought her a one-way ticket, and that was that. How did you end up in New York? No. I mean, no. I've graduated from college. I mean, like of my mom's siblings. She grew up on a farm, so she has I forget the number, 8 siblings, I think it is. 9 siblings. Of her and all her siblings, she's the only one who has a 4-year degree. Yeah, how did I end up in New York? Well, I actually spent my earlier years of life in California. That's where my parents lived up until I was about 5. And then my dad got a job in New Jersey and moved out to New Jersey. And so that's kind of how I ended up on this side of the world. How did I end up in New York? Well, after college, I wanted to work in the theater, and I got into grad school at Columbia University. So I went to Columbia and then just kind of stayed in New York. But I always kind of wanted to be in New York, having grown up in New Jersey. By virtue of the connections that she has made in our court, as well as some shrewd business decisions, the peasant Saida bint Hafiz has managed to amass a significant fortune that rivals even the successful amongst our burghers. Most are already assuming that she belongs, but is that really the message we should send? My grandpa was the only one who went to university out of 8 surviving to adulthood siblings. 2 more went to the police academy, university status in Greece. Oh, okay. The rest are farmers. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it goes, I guess, with big families, right? My mom's oldest sibling ended up taking over the farm and continuing the farm. And then I have one uncle, one of my mom's brothers, who got a 2-year degree. So he has a degree, but the rest of them don't have one. But have all done really well for themselves. So I think that tells you something about the state of university in the United States right now. It's not necessarily necessary. All right, so we've changed 10 towards plutocracy, which we want. Our burgers gained some ducats. And she joins the Burgers estate. A rich peasant is still a peasant. Oh my god. No, no, no. Send congratulations. Yeah, so you were born in Laguat, lived in California, and moved to New York. Yes, this is true. Though I lived in Laguat till I was 2. Uh, moved to California. Lived in quite a few different places in California, but one of them was Los Angeles. Until I was 5. Then at the age of 5, moved to New Jersey. So, yeah. And then I guess at the age of, oh god, I don't even remember how old I was when I graduated college. Then moved to New York. I only approve of social mobility because it sends society value close to my preferred stat, King Ham. That's right. Hey, Sultan Ham at the present moment. But that's right. I approve of social mobilities as long as it gets my stats to in the direction I want them to go. I'm a true benevolent leader in that sense. What's the best place? New York, of course. New York is the best place. I will say, Los Angeles is nice. I have visited Los Angeles. There's many places in California that are really great. But, at least for me personally, you know, I always have that feeling like when I go visit a place, I go there and I kind of fall in love with the place that I'm visiting, right? But every time, the moment I step right back into New York, I'm like, oh man, I could never leave this place. I just love this place. What is good about New York? Aside from Greek coffee coffee cups, yeah, and coffee shops. I think the thing, I'll tell you this. I think the thing that people who don't live in New York don't understand is there's this feeling of like New York being this kind of like cold, mean place. But people don't understand when you live here the amount of community that you have with the people that you live around. More so, I grew up in a suburb in New Jersey, and I feel more community with the people I live around here than I did on the street I grew up on. Like I'll tell you this: the street I grew up on, I don't know. I know only one other person on that street. Nobody else has ever talked to us. In fact, there's one person who lives on my street growing up that is just a jerk. Has been a jerk my entire life. I have not said 2 words to anybody on that street other than one person. But here in New York, you live in a building, like on my floor here, we know everybody on this floor. We're all very close. We all help each other. If I had like some disaster and I had to leave, I just had to leave my kids with somebody and go, like say my wife, God forbid, something devastating happened to my wife and I had to go to her, I totally feel confident leaving my 2 kids with anybody on this floor that I live with because we're all that close. And I think that's something people don't understand is that we all live so tightly packed together here that there's kind of this sense of community amongst everybody that I think I think that's the thing people who don't live in New York don't quite get about it because you kind of have to live here to get that. One of the greatest and richest merchant families in the Sultanate of Tlemcen have decided to reward us for our just rule with a sizable donation. As well-respected traders who built their fortune from commerce, the family has developed a reputation as generous patrons of religion and the arts. Now, with this newfound wealth, we can strengthen our coffers or give patronage to new talents. One artist, Muhammad Ait Abu Ayah, has begun to achieve some renown in local circles, and claiming his services could be quite the boon for our court. All right, so we can get Oh, we can get him to move to our court. We get 15 prestige. Yeah, but we could use the money at the moment. We'll use the money. Sir, a second plane. Let's hit the wife. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we bring sad news. The Doyasayed has died at the age of 57, and she was our ruler's older sister. Okay. That's an interesting take. That is what I like to hear. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what, like, people don't quite get about when you live here, right? And, like, even now, like, I'm very close with a lot of the parents of my kids' friends. Like, we have a really great little community here. And, like, when I was growing up, my parents didn't know anybody. Like, any of the parents of the people I knew at school. Like, they knew maybe, like, one of my friend's parents, right? But not only do I know my kid's friends' parents, we're actually actively all friends. So I think that's something people don't get about this place. And it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to be that way. Because we're all living so damn close and on top of each other, we all have to help each other out. I think the thing is, like, the reputation New York City has is because when tourists come here, if you're walking slow on the sidewalk, we're going to tell you to get the hell out of the way because we have to get somewhere. And I think people take that as, oh, everybody here is just kind of rude. But it's like, no, you're a guest in a place. Like, get out of the way. You know, like, we'll be very nice to you as long as you don't make me late for work. But the thing is, for the rest of us who live around each other, we're all getting out of each other's way because we know we all got somewhere to be. So I think that's where the reputation of New York comes from, is that when you come here and you're slow and clogging up the sidewalk, like I have seen a tourist family before on a sidewalk, 5 of them all holding hands spread out in a line across the sidewalk. And imagine that, in a crowded sidewalk, having to walk around 5 people in a line. Like, why would you walk anywhere like that? I would say to people, like, if I went to your small town and I put 5 people across a sidewalk so that you couldn't get by, you would get annoyed with me too. Ugh. Hey, Java, what's up? What's up? Happy New Year! Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. How's it going? Your parents live in New Jersey. Yes, yes, they do. They still live there. So that's where I was for the holiday. I was visiting them. The Baltic chain. Yeah. I guess that's one name for it right there. It's some kind of chain. Just, you know, clogging up the sidewalk. It's stuff like that. Where I'm sure that family, somebody on the street used a curse word and was like, get out of the way. And then they went home and were like, everybody in New York is just very rude. Like, I don't get it. And I'm like, yeah, like, if I went to your town and did that, you would tell me to get out of the way too. Oh no, I didn't get the what is the reference? What is the Baltic chain? All right, let's just build a building here. That'll get us some money. The Tools Guild. What are tools in the market here? Will that actually be profitable for us? Ooh, okay. Hold on, let's pause this for a second. During the dissolution of the USSR, the people of the Baltics made, a human chain from Vilnius to Tallinn through Riga, the three capitals there. Oh my god, that is amazing. No, I don't know about that. I'm gonna look that up tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, basically. People come here and on on the busiest streets in the city create a Baltic chain. It's like, dude, yeah, you don't need to have a chain that stretches back to your hometown. Hey, Sharky boy, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, Tlemcen is crazy. Yeah, we've been having quite a crazy run here. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. More downs than ups, but some ups. But, yeah. It's been interesting. Alright, so... Tools would not necessarily be... You see, I don't trust this maximum profit per level. The kids must love Christmas. They do. We're going to a trip. Oh, nice. Drives across the bridge. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. They do see it as a trip, though. I mean, there's like some cool kid stuff in my hometown. Like there's a rock climbing wall place that they went to, which is cool. There's like a trampoline place in my hometown back in New Jersey. So there's a couple cool things in my hometown. They love going down there to go to that stuff. But it's mainly because, their grandparents will just take them all the time. And we have places like that we go here, but we can't go all the time. So they know when they're going down to Grandma and Grandpa's house, Grandma and Grandpa are going to take them to all the cool places. So they do see it as quite a trip. How far is that? Like an hour or two? Yeah, about so. It's not too far. It's enough of a car ride to be a car ride, but like not so little that, it's just a hop skip jump away. So I'm hesitant here because we should build up the army again. But we could build more profitable buildings, get more money here. But we have no army at all right now. So I think I've kind of answered my question there. So before we do the camp followers this time, let's make some horsemen. We'll do that to start. Are your in-laws from near? No, they are not. My wife is from Alabama. And so all of her family is down there. So when we go visit her family, it's a whole other world. Early game regulars are dookie. Some amount is fine, but playing tall is better. Just watch out for Iberia, Morocco, and Tunis. Oh, yeah. You don't have to tell me about Morocco and Tunis. Morocco and Tunis are the bane of my existence right now. Ah, this guy died. The guy who tried to create a coup against me and got my mother on his side. He fell down a set of stairs. Goodbye, my friend. So what we're trying to do here is trying to get an ally. Yeah, even if you build an army, you'd get wrecked. So ally. Oh, I know. It's been happening. Problem is we can't really get an ally. We've been having problems doing that. Spain doesn't seem to want to ally us, mainly because we're of like different culture and religion, even though we both rival the same people. Egypt likes us, but they don't want to enter an allyship because of how far we are. So we're kind of working on that right now. We need to get an ally. Oh my god, Tunis is on the Italian peninsula here, huh? How did that happen? Oh yeah, well my wife is living in New York. My wife also loves New York. So we met here in New York. But yeah, she's originally from Alabama. All right, market regulations. Let's see here. He fell down some stairs, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. This is like the Tlemcen branch of Russia here. Even if you build an... Yeah. Oh, wait. Right now I'm doing a Florence to Roman Empire run. When Jewish, because why not? Yeah, sure. Sounds good. What did she study / work? Well, she studied to become a nurse practitioner. So she's in the medical field, which is what her whole family was in. So that's kind of her thing. I'm not sure what medical positions transfer over to other countries and other cultures. So she's not a nurse, but she's like a nurse practitioner. Oh, cool. Yours is a nurse too. Yeah. Yep. Nurse significant others of the world unite. Alright, so we get some trade efficiency. That actually will help us. Extra benefits from merchants. Plus 20 trade advantage. Plus 20% trade advantage for 10 years. That's interesting. This actually might be the thing we do. This would help us get more income. Now, how do we increase this? We gain 1 antagonism towards us centered on Tlemcen. We change societal values 2 towards belligerent. Yeah, I'll take this. Alright, so that gets us over 50%. Yeah, I'll take this too. Alright, I think we're good on that right now. Head nurses in some parts of Europe with decades of experience now make pilot salaries. Well, see, here's the thing. I don't know what you mean by that. Because here in the United States, pilots make nothing. It's awful. Pilots make, like, very little. But I don't know if that's different elsewhere. So I don't know if you're saying they make pilot salaries, meaning, like, they make nothing. I'd expand into maybe Anatolia if I were you. In my failed Granada run, I expanded through subjects a ton. Yeah, see, our problem is we just don't have the military to do it. See, earlier in the run, we lost quite a bit of land from Tunis. And we lost the market capital. We controlled the market, but they took the market capital from us. So we've been trying to recover from that. We actually did recover from it, and it was in this run earlier, in this episode earlier, that we got brought into a war against our will and kind of hurt us again. So, you know, we're not really going to be able to make... we're not going to really be able to take anybody over. Though, I hear what you're saying, like, getting a subject would be beneficial, but even that's going to be a bit of a slog. If nurses making more than pilots in the coming year shocks you, keep in mind, lawyers used to be impoverished in the past. Yeah. How come pilots make nothing? It's the American way, unfortunately. Everybody's making nothing in the United States now. It says here they make $100K a year in the U.S., which is not bad, but it's probably awful for New York. No. Actually, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, with the cost of living in New York, $100K doesn't go as far. No, I mean, I don't know what the average pilot makes, but I do know that there's a lot of stories about how in the airline industry, the airlines know that people go into being a pilot because they just have a passion for flying, and so they use that to give them less money because they know they'll take the job because they want to be a pilot. So I don't know what the numbers are, but I've read a lot of stories where pilots in the United States are actually making very little. So that might be some, but not most. Yeah, New York police officers do make a lot of money. They really do. My favorite meme is 60K here in Europe versus California. Yeah, 60K will not get you very far here in New York. I can tell you that much. All right, we need a commander now. Army tradition from battles, prestige from land battles. That's actually not so bad. But his diplomatic ability is so damn low. Won't get much assistance on any sieges that we do. Well, we're not going to really be sieging anybody, huh? $60K is my dream salary. I can support a family on my own, rent a house with a pool, and invest some in the stock market. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's many places in the United States too where 60K would do that. That's the thing, is that people will look at New York. In New York, you generally make more money in your job than you do in other places in the country. And I think the problem is everywhere else in the United States, people look at that and they're like, oh, everybody in New York is rich. Like, yeah, no, because the cost of living here is so much higher. It's all relative. So, like, yeah, we generally make more than 60K a year. I don't, but generally most people do, but it still doesn't go as far because the cost of living here is crazy expensive. All right, so we really do if we can get to 44 stability, we could finally embrace professional army, which would be a big boost for us, because we definitely need something more in that regard. So I'm wondering if we maybe up our investment in that in our budget. One of our provincial governors has figured out that under our current decentralized policies, we could go into business for he could go into business for himself. The fact that the army he has managed to raise is way too small to support such a claim does not seem to worry him much. Yeah, see, now now this is going to dictate our decisions. We don't want to lose stability. So I guess we're going to lose a little bit of control in some places. I hate the US and their way of life, but I often joke about ending up there as fate has it. But that's not a possibility now that you need to hand out your social media. Yeah. See, though, this is the thing, though. And I don't mean this with the US, I mean this with everywhere. Like, you don't really know the way of life in the United States until you live here. The same way that I don't really know the way of life in Greece. You know what I mean? Like, I think in this globalized world, we all kind of feel like we kind of know how everybody else is living and what people's cultures are, and I think we don't. Like, I always say this about, at least just within the United States itself, I feel like in the US there's always this pull of, like, people who live in rural areas, and that the people who live in more urban areas, you don't understand the way of life in rural areas. And I always say, well, you don't understand the way of life here in New York, but people think they do because, they watch TV shows like Friends and Seinfeld, which takes place in New York. It's like, well, I've seen Friends. I know what it's like to live in New York. It's like, that is not what it's like to live here at all. Like, that is a fantasy. um, and so that's the thing when you talk about like the way of life and you hate the way of life in the United States. I would say you probably would be surprised how much you don't actually know about the way of life here in the U.S. until you live here. In the same way that that is true about everywhere else in the world. I have a good idea of how you are living. Thank you very much. I have a bunch of friends screaming at how the suburbs suck and how they have no public transport. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is like those friends, like, um, that's not the way of life everywhere in the United States. And they talk about how they have no public transport. Well, maybe the town they live in doesn't. But that doesn't mean everywhere in the United States has no public transport, right? Um, like, in the same way that the town that you live in Greece is not the same as life living in Athens, I'm sure, right? Because you said you live in a smaller town. Everywhere except New York City. Yeah, no, that's not true though. There's many places in the United States that have good public transport. New Jersey has pretty good public transport, I would say. New Jersey Transit, as much as people like to complain about it, but people like to complain about it because they use it a lot. Small city, yes. I hate Athens. Yeah, but see, even life in Athens is very different from the life that you live in your town. So your friends that live in the United States, I don't know, maybe the way of life in wherever it is they live sucks. But the United States is a big place. It's not the same everywhere. I understand every place is different, Alham. Well, good. Good, good, good. Then that means, you know, I wouldn't judge an entire country, especially one as large as us, from some of your friends' opinions. That being said, I have a lot of things I could say that I dislike about the way of life here in the United States, but there's a lot of stuff I also love. But then again, it's my home, so I'm biased. Also, half the population of the US is mad, the other half is clinically insane. Yeah, see, I don't agree with that. I mean, I can say the same thing about Greece. I mean, you guys ran yourself into a economic depression because of some crazy financial and economic policies. But then that's somebody from the outside looking in, right? And I'm sure you have a lot. I'm sure you have a lot to say to counter that point. But I could say the same thing about the people of Greece. No, no, you see, my country is heterogeneous and unique. Yeah, your country must be all the same to fit my views better. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Wait until you get on a plane with someone who carries a gun because of the upcoming race war. Ooh, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. Where is that? That's in the United States. You're not carrying a gun on a plane in the United States. Average internet argument. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing, Max, is that you think you understand a lot about the US, but I think there's a lot that you don't know. What is your point? Wait until you get on a plane with someone who carries a gun because of the upcoming race war. What do you mean by that? All right, let's read this here. The current debate in the Majli on how to best protect domestic production has attracted the attention of many in Tahart. This important position in the Majli has come to support us in the debate in hope that it will benefit from the suggested policy. Great news. We get some development in Tahar. This is true. We'll take that because we're at 72%. I feel like it's going to pass. Um, I've spoken to people who are preparing and are racist. Not carrying a gun into plane, that's disallowed. Okay, yeah. But man, that's everywhere. That is everywhere. I mean, tell me what places in Europe don't have an extreme right wing movement happening right now. I mean, it's sad, but that's true. We've had many of them on my stream, unfortunately, who pop in every now and then. I was just showing the average internet argument about countries not specifically. Oh yeah, about UMax. Fair, but Alham used it because he doesn't understand that half his country has gone lunatic, at least to the eyes of a continental European. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. At least to the eyes of a continental European. I mean, um, like, what does that mean? Half the country has gone lunatic. I think that's an internet argument right there. Um, our government, if you're talking about the U.S. government, yeah, the U.S. government has kind of been hijacked by a right wing extreme, but the people, if you look at how the people of the United States vote, the United States is a left leaning country. If you look at the way people vote, unfortunately, our voting system just doesn't, has some dumb policies in it. Hold on, let's figure out what we're doing here. And also, if you're talking about people going crazy, I mean, you know, from someone from continental Europe, you're telling me that things in Europe are not going crazy right now either? Unlocks religious war, stability. Oh, stability investment. I think we'll go down to that. Pop food consumption, we'll do that. And then we'll finish that off. But we really do need to start getting one of these institutions here. You can find extreme right-wing movement everywhere, but here they don't run the government. They don't? Oh, my friend. Just look at some history. Please. Please. The enlightened Europeans in their ivory tower. Yeah, exactly. Who voted for these people, Alham? Voted for what people? I mean, look at the last elections in Germany, in Italy. Look at the last couple of elections in Britain. I mean, with Brexit. Like, what are you talking about, my friend? It is, but it keeps losing due to gerrymandering and strategic voting. Yeah, that is true. That is a problem in the United States here. The people largely have the same problems, but somehow extremely differing opinions about how to solve them. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the problem, is that we all have the same problems, differing opinions on how to solve them. I think people in the United States are starting to realize that our problems are very similar. I think some of this is starting to break down. I always remember the U.S. window of acceptable views is more to the right of at least Western Europe, although the latter is getting closer to the U.S. standards these days. This is true. The U.S. is also... The United States is the size of Europe. So when you talk about, like, a consensus from people in the United States, is there a consensus of everybody in Europe? Like, no, there isn't. It's impossible to find a consensus among that large a size of people. Not even close. The European right is not the same as the US. My guy. Oh, Max, come on, my friend. Now you're just... just look at your history, my friend. Although a portion of the people are being polluted by social media and Americanized. This is not a competition. You actually have an issue with weirdos running your country. Yeah, I'm not debating that. Which happens to be the strongest country, at least for now, and we have to deal with that BS. Yeah, no, I agree with that. We do have a problem with the people leading our country right now. USA pretty sure is bigger than Europe. Yeah, yeah, it's true. I think so. I'm talking about 2026, not history. Why can't we just see that right there, Max? That is the typical European argument. Is like, wait. I'm talking about literally right now. Everything before today doesn't matter. Let's not talk about history. Because if we talked about history, I would not have a leg to stand on here. I'm talking about right now. Nothing before today happened. It's like, dude, come on now. Europe doesn't have a far right wing problem. Well, yeah, if you're only, not even if you're not talk, if you're only talking about today, there is also a right wing extremist problem. Far right wing extremists have been very close to winning elections in multiple countries in Europe. No, it's not, because I'm not trying to score points on a board. What are you talking about? Who is trying to score points on a board? Don't forget, when people say Europe, they really just mean, yeah, Western Europe and some of North and Central Europe. It's the same as history of the world, the West. Yeah, great point, Mauricio. That's true too, as well, right? People say Europe, they're really referring to like maybe 4 countries, when Europe is very large in a lot of countries. I mean, just look at this. Here's the thing. Europe has complex checks and balances due to multi-party democracy, shared competency governing with the EU, federal power, which doesn't allow the fringes to take control. Okay, so how did Britain get controlled by the far right wing, and leave the European Union? How did Brexit happen? How did Boris Johnson become the Prime Minister of Great Britain? Based on what you just said, like, my guy, you don't have to go too far back to see that. You don't. So once a weirdo takes control of one of the 2 parties, turns it into a cult, and now you have the cult and the anti-cult being mainstream. Boris Johnson is not far right. Boris Johnson is a nut, and took control of a majority of people in Britain, and led them to one of the worst economic decisions they've made. My guy, he had them do it because he was blaming, he was saying the country's problems were on because of immigrants. So we have to leave the European Union because of immigrants. What does that sound like? My guy. Let me tell you how it happened. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, let's unpause here. Oh boy, okay. Hostile pirates. I think for now, what I'm really going to do is just build up more of our standing army here. I kind of waited too long for it before because I was trying to build up the economy more. I think this time around, we just need more in here. So that's what we're going to focus on this time. All right. So we got extra benefits from merchants. Britain wanted to join the EU, but France, under de Gaulle, was blocking them. They thought Britain would act as a Trojan horse for American interests. De Gaulle wanted to have his own foreign... Wait, de Gaulle? I thought we were only talking about 2026. We can't go that far back. See, this is the self-serving argument, my friend. We can't talk about the history of Europe unless it's, it suits my argument here. How are we going to go as far back as de Gaulle, but 2 seconds ago you're telling me... I'm talking about 2026 only. How long ago was de Gaulle? You talking about that war criminal? that committed atrocities and torture in Algeria? I'll ignore what you said and be the adult in the chat room. Oh my god, come on, my guy. Don't talk. Be the adult in a chat room. Don't talk to an Algerian about de Gaulle. Okay, please. My guy, bringing up somebody who, well, I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube here. Why do you do this? Why do I do what? Why do you like kind of bring up these debates sometimes and then kind of like don't say why do you do this? You always bring up these debates where they're based in there's one thing you said a while back where you said I think the best people come from Europe. That's nationalism, my friend. You bring up these nationalistic arguments and you talk about them like it's just plain old fact. Europe is the best people come from Europe. And if you don't see that, you don't understand history or anything. But we can't talk about history. De Gaulle was the father of victory in World War II for France, something like Truman for the US. Imagine if a Japanese came and said, haha, war criminal. I mean, okay, my guy, go look up what de Gaulle did in Algeria. Look it up, okay? Don't tell me, well, he was a war hero. Yeah, he also did some other stuff, my friend. Oh, but the things the US does are bad. But the things that Europeans do, well, but that's different. I mean, they also did win wars. Please. Come on. All right, let's see here. Can we expand? See, I want to get... We have one cavalry here. I'm aware of what he did. After retiring from politics in 1946, de Gaulle was literally brought back by a political coup d'etat because the war in Algeria was failing. They changed the constitution. Yeah, nothing you just said, though, is a justification for torture of children. Which is the thing I was trying not to say on the stream, but obviously it must be said. The growing power of the burghers has led to individuals from within their ranks seeking their fortunes in areas traditionally dominated by other groups. The sons of mid to low prominence families of the burghers now have the education and ambition to match the more privileged classes, and as a result, an increasing number of them are now being employed as administrators, lawyers, and officers, as well as in other positions traditionally dominated by another estate. The burghers still feel that they are being unduly held back by the archaic rights and privileges of another era, but their adversaries are growing very wary of the current unnatural social mobility. Unless we do something, we risk losing the support of the privileged classes, but if we withdraw our support from the burghers at this juncture, it will likely have grave consequences for our relations with them. God. Alright. Well, I guess losing 20 from the burghers. Yeah. I mean, this is going to bring us to the same place for all of them. I guess I'll have one estate at 40%, then two at 40%. Now, I do think Europe is generally friendlier towards the people and less towards economy, standard of living versus GDP. But we all for sure have our faults. Acting like European leaders are saints is delusional. Yeah. See, yeah, I 100% agree with that, Jabba. I think that in Europe, there is more of a value toward the worker, towards the individual. Whereas I think one of the problems in the United States is this this more valuing of like the bottom line, the dollar, the GDP, as opposed to the worker. And I think that's one of the biggest problems here in the United States. Um, but yeah, if you're talking about individual leaders and stuff, I mean, there's a lot to go around. You derail into irrelevant points for our discussion, explaining Brexit. Here, de Gaulle is relevant because of his continental and American free foreign policy. De Gaulle was famous for many things: his military career, imprisonment in Germany, World War II resistance, foreign visits, nuclear arms race, war in Algeria, constitutional crisis. But see, right, that he was famous for many things. The war in Algeria. What are you famous for? What? You say I bring up irrelevant things. You're bringing up the war in Algeria as one of his praises, and I said, um, he's a war criminal because of that. None of these are relevant to Brexit. Him blocking Britain joining the EEC is. I brought up Brexit because you're talking about a far right-wing extreme in the United States, which does exist, but you try to make the point that it doesn't exist in Europe, or it's a very small element. And one of the biggest countries, one of the biggest economic powers in Europe, just went through a far right-wing extreme that took over their government and made horrible economic decisions. How is that not relevant? Anyway, when Britain was allowed to join the EU back when they called the EEC in 1976, it did so alongside Ireland due to the Troubles, and you received favorable terms compared to the members. What do you mean you didn't praise it? You just said, here's your comment. De Gaulle was famous for many things: his military career, imprisonment in Germany, World War II resistance, foreign visits, nuclear arms race, war in Algeria. Like, what are you talking about, man? For example, Britain was allowed to keep some of their tariffs with their former colonies. The EU is funded through common tariffs. It's a giant trade bloc, basically. Okay. They also got an opt-out to keep pound sterling later on and not adopt the common euro. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know this stuff. I don't understand what relevance any of that is to anything. He is famous, equals well-known for these topics. I didn't say I support the war in Algeria or French nuclear programs, but you are praising the man. That's why you brought him up. You are a bit stuck up on the Algerian. Maybe because I'm Algerian. Jesus. Maybe because I'm Algerian and you frequently come into my streams and praise these French war criminals from the Algerian War. That could be something to do with it. To be honest, our people do not feel that our Navy is so grand anymore. Maybe because we don't have a Navy anymore. There's a statement. In fact, they just plain do not like it. Press gangs are finding it even harder than usual, and even acquiring basic materials is a struggle. I mean, I think the thing that I find interesting about you, Max, is you frequently and freely massively criticize the United States for everything, from its politics even down to its way of life. You just said that before. You don't like the way of life in the United States, and I made the point that I don't think you know anything about the way of life in the United States. So you frequently make these points about criticisms constantly about the United States. But I think the interesting point is any slight criticism of any European power, especially France, you just can't take it. And it comes from this place where you talk about how you think all of the best people and all of the best things come from Europe. It's literal words you've said on the stream before. And that is the definition of nationalism right there, my friend. That is nationalism. Where you will freely and quickly criticize other places, but you cannot see the same things within your own home. And you think that your home is best and knows better than everything else. And that's kind of the thing I try to push back on in these discussions. it's good that you know all these. This makes the following much easier. Okay. All right, so let's build now another horseman. Like I said, we're just going to build up the military here. Our trading is going fairly well. Although we're not getting a lot of trade income from it. You were stuck up thinking I am nationalist because you've made up your mind on it. When I talk with Americans, I will criticize American imperialism. When I talk with a Greek, I will criticize Greece. Unless you want me to join the chat and say, yay, America. Get these Iraqis and Vietcongs. My guy, I have never once seen you criticize anything about Europe. You say that, but you don't actually do that. You are, you are at least what you present in the chat and stream here, unable to see any criticism of any major European power. I mean, you've literally said the words on the stream, I think the best people come from Europe. And you say, you've made up your mind that I'm national. I made up my mind that you're a nationalist because of stuff like that. There are no Greeks here. Okay. I'm laughing because it's true. All right. I mean, at this point, man, I don't really know what we're even debating at this point, to be honest with you. Let's see here. All right. So we need someone to change societal values here. So we got our guy here. Yeah, I don't think I would use him for any other thing, so we'll make him a cabinet member. Oh man. Oh, it is midnight here. Alright. It's now the 2nd. We went a little bit longer than I anticipated. British Euroscepticism was on the fringe. It was a laughable notion, mostly. Anyway, enter David Cameron, British Conservative PM. The Anglos are upset, as most nations, especially the... yeah. Alright, I think we've reached our stopping point for the night. I mean, I guess I usually say, oh, we did some good work, but we did some good work, and we also got our butt kicked a little bit. So, we had an interesting run tonight. But, you know, we made some progress. Oh, look at us, we're almost in 1400. So, we will continue this one again. I think now we're really just going to be focusing on our military. I mean, we really need to be prepared the next time something like that happens. So we got pulled into a war with Tunis before we were ready to do it. That was kind of disappointing. Yeah, next time will be better. Exactly. Next time will be better. Next time will be better because, one, we're going to build up the military much quicker. And now, you know, we can adopt professional army if we can just get some stability up. Yeah, in fact, we're going to set ourselves up for this going into the next episode so that we can raise up stability and adopt professional army. Problem is, there is a clandestine network of organized lobbies in favor of Brexit who use social media to appeal to non-voters and people disillusioned with the establishment. That's all. Yeah, and that's what's happened here in the United States as well, and that's my point. It's the same thing. Did you read the previous one? Following the 2008 economic crisis, so he decides to stop the bickering and hold referendums. Yeah, I mean, I know all this stuff. I know that stuff, my friend. You're not telling me something new. What I'm telling you is that's the same thing that's happening here. It's all the same. All right. Yeah, so that's going to be it for tonight. So I will be back on tomorrow night. We're going to be continuing the run in Frostpunk 2 and the new DLC, Fractured Utopias. So we're still going with that one. We'll see how far we get in tomorrow's session to see if we're going to keep going with Frostpunk 2 or not. But we're definitely doing some Frostpunk 2 tomorrow night. So that'll start up around 8:30 p.m. I would say tomorrow, but it's now then. Oh, LaPlace, hello, hello. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm giving the goodbye here, unfortunately. Yeah, and goodbye, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry, my friends. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Glad you stopped in at least to say Happy New Year. But yeah, we're wrapping up. But yeah. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow night for some more Frostpunk 2. Otherwise, be awesome. I'll see you next time, my friends.